What's up, you guys? I'm Natasha. This is Shepherding Pepper's Farm, at least the name for now. And I have a bunch of stuff to dig up in this space. This is a really big space. I'll spin you around in a second. But essentially, we're redoing our landscaping. We've talked about putting in a pool in kind of this area. And this is like more of the kids' space. And then we've got about 3 acres back there. And we're doing this major overhaul. And the garden is... I'm just going to turn you around. You see the backyard and everything is a mess right now. We're going to be moving the trampoline. And then you got some stuff over on the sides. I would have to come all the way up here so you could see the big space. It's always weird walking and filming because everything's all jiggly. But so over here you can see we have a lot more landscaping. We have archery stuff over here, and then we've got several compost areas over in the back. And then this is a huge space, equivalent if not larger than the garden. I think it's about the same size, and then we've got our 3.5 acres back there. But we're talking about putting in a pool in this section right here, and then moving the trampoline out back here. So essentially I need to come through and dig up any of my perennial flowers in this area because I'm going to move a lot of our landscaping stuff around. So right here, this is bee balm. This is very medicinal. I love bee balm. It's beautiful and it smells fantastic. These are chives. This is something that I'm not remembering the name of, but I'll look it up in a second. I've got some dahlias in through here, lots of grass and weeds. So this area would grass in just fine. This is yarrow, more dahlias, and then asparagus. I mean, there's literally stuff everywhere. More strawberry plants. These are carnations that are blooming. No, maybe they're not. I thought they were, but maybe they're not. Yarrow, blanket flower. Now the roses, I don't think we're going to do anything with. The roses are going to stay where they are because we should have enough to do that. And I'm going to move this little rose right here so it has a little bit more space though. But yeah, so there's a lot of stuff I have to move in here. And honestly, it's one of those mornings where I'm doing a bunch of different chores, and I figured I would just bring you guys out here with me and you could hang out with me while I move stuff, and we'll chat when things come to mind, and we'll work on doing these things. I'll tell you what I'm digging up, what I plan to do with it, where I plan to put it. Hopefully we all know that's touch and go. And then there are some really beautiful like flowy pink grasses in here too that I'd like to kind of put around the perimeter. I really like to incorporate beauty with edible landscaping. I really love edible landscaping because it's landscaping that is both beautiful, but it is also edible or medicinal. And I think that's a really great way to maximize your space if you can incorporate that together. So there you go. If you're new to the channel, I'm Natasha. I don't know if I said that. I said that this is Shepherding Pepper's Farm for now. but yeah, it's first thing in the morning. I've had 1 cup of coffee. No ADD medicine or anything like that. So we're just going to see how we do this morning. It's driving to take that. Helps me focus. Helps me make decisions, truthfully. It's hard, and I struggle with the whole ADD medicine thing, and I know I shouldn't because I know that in my circumstance it genuinely makes a huge difference in my ability to process things. Like my kids will even tell me if I try to homeschool without taking my ADD medicine. They're on spring break this week, so I can do a bunch of projects. But I'll get bored sitting there waiting for him to finish stuff, and I'll like play with Landon's cars, and I'm like, Mom, stop. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I don't want to be the distraction in your stuff. But if I take my medicine, I can focus and I can sit still. But it isn't a really high dose. But we try to do everything as medicinally and as naturally as possible. And then you have this controlled substance medication that's just completely in conjunction, like it's opposite with this holistic natural lifestyle that we try to make in all the other circumstances. But all I can say in that regard is we have to try to find balance in our lives. We have to try to find balance and take the good with the bad, and accept that in certain circumstances medication is absolutely needed. My husband, Seth, he has fibromyalgia, and so he has a medication that he takes every day for that too. I can't remember what it's called. It's not like an opioid or anything like it's just something that helps him with those overactive nerves. It calms them down. But so it just is what it is. None of this is going to make any sense this morning. It's rapidly heating up. We're just going to get into it. I'm going to start digging things up. Please bear with me. Okay, so this right now is currently ant territory. I'm going to start over here with the asparagus, and we're going to dig these out. I just walked in a giant circle. We're going to dig these out, and I'm going to put these in the wheelbarrow. We're going to find new homes for these things. Asparagus has pretty massive roots. When I push the dirt back, you probably can't see it, but the root extends this way. They form crowns. So if you're going to dig up and transplant your asparagus, you are going to probably need to accept that you're going to have, hopefully this mic isn't super loud and psycho. If you're going to dig up your asparagus, there's a very good chance your harvest is going to be substantially smaller that year. That's fine. These crowns are about 2 years old. Wasn't expecting to really harvest too much from them. Artichokes are a perennial food, which is great. You do want to separate the crowns every 5 to 6 years so they don't become too enormous. They could have trouble growing. So about year 6, you want to separate the crowns, but every plant is different and has a different growth cycle. So if you have like a artichoke on, not an artichoke, a asparagus on steroids, you may want to consider dividing your crowns a little bit sooner, but it will help keep them productive. So if you've had artichokes for a long time and they're not producing as well, you probably need to divide your crowns up. So you can see this one is still decently small. I did snip a few of the roots, but it's okay. So these guys right here, this is goldenrod. This is very medicinal as well. Some people will consider goldenrod to, a lot of people have this misconception that it's a trigger for allergies, and for some that might be true, but it just gets a bad rep. It's actually also very medicinal, almost like a distant cousin of golden seal. If you've heard about the medicinal properties of golden seal, it's very, very good for you. Goldenrod can actually be used in very similar fashion to golden seal. For that reason, in and of itself, I would let it stay here, but it grows so abundantly and freely, I can walk around the property and find a ton of it, so I don't need to worry about doing that. So another asparagus. I have been moving the asparagus since it's been coming up, essentially. Every time I see a new one sprout, I'm coming through and digging it out. Alright, that's pretty good. Since the majority of this is going to get dug up, I'm going to take anything that I think I might want from the ground. It looks like we're supposed to start the project in just a couple of weeks. So, like, the goal is to be able to swim this summer. And we saved up for a good bit of time to be able to actually do it. We also are very friendly with the person who's doing it, so that helps a little bit too. But yeah, it's a pretty big project. It's something that we always plan to do out here for 2 different reasons. One, the kids really enjoy it, and it would be nice to have that recreational aspect in the summer because out here it gets so hot, it gets so humid, and it's just something nice that you could enjoy with your family. And then 2, we love this property. We don't want to move, but if we do at any point decide to go somewhere else, it's actually a really big resale benefit where we are at out here in Horry County, which is in Myrtle Beach. If you guys know, it's the homes out here that have pools sell much, much faster and at a much higher rate. So it's definitely a project that will add a substantial amount of value to our home where we're at. So it makes the project worthwhile. Something smells really good out here, which is unusual when you're downwind from the compost. Oh, I see it. It's the Carolina jasmine that's blooming. It's our state flower. It smells like vanilla. Got like 3 weeks out here where our whole mini hobby farm just smells like vanilla. It's outstanding. Okay, this one grew over the top of some landscaping fabric, so that was pretty easy. Okay, I'm not sure what you are, but I'm going to dig you up because I know you are something. Oh, is this a label? That'd be great. It's a broken label, so very unhelpful. Okay. I have something in my shoe. I should just empty it. I've been sitting here wondering how long I can go with my shoe annoying me being full of something, and it's just one of those sensory things where I'm like, should I flip it crazy? I don't know. Can you guys ignore things in your shoes? Get out. Okay. Much better. The relief is overwhelming. So these little plants right back in here, I'm not sure how well you can see them, but right here, these are Allen Camp. Very, very good for illness. I just figured we would load up the wheelbarrow with whatever we dig up, and then we'll go around and try to figure out where to plant it at. See? Allen Camp, right there. One surviving label. And then until they start, if anything else pops up, it should be pretty easy to locate it and move it if I get the bulk of it done today. Oh, that's a beautiful root system. I could do without the grass on the top. The roots are great. All right. This is a dahlia. Probably two. So dahlias from seed last year. I've done a lot of dahlias over the years in seed. This is not great soil, so I doubt the roots will be very big. Honestly, don't see much of a tuber at all. I see good roots, but I don't see really much of a tuber. Interesting. Maybe it's not a dahlia. Maybe it's valerian. That's probably what this is. I probably misspoke. Very, very interesting. Yarrow, which at this point we have a ton of, but can you ever have too much yarrow? Don't know the answer. I'm gonna go grab some buckets from the garage because certain plants that are out here that are more evergreen, like our, the nickname for it is like tick seed or tickweed, and it has an actual name that sounds much better than that because it is not a weed that attracts ticks. I can show you in 1 second, but that's an evergreen plant and it's beautiful. It has really sunny yellow flowers. I'd like to preserve that, and I'd actually like to use that as landscaping around it. We're not paying for landscaping. We're doing as much of it as we possibly can ourselves, which saves a ton of money. Yeah, budget conscious as much as possible. So yeah, I'm gonna go grab those buckets. And since I don't have a ton of that really expensive new dirt that you can buy, I'm gonna use a good bit of the dirt that is in here to fill things up with until I can get some supplementary compost to put on the top. I'm telling you, the first time we ever have smell cam, I'm going to wait until all of this jasmine is in bloom and walk you guys through it because it smells so good. Walking back to the perennial garden and having just vanilla everywhere. It's, oh my gosh, it smells so good. Now these are dahlias right here, for sure. You can tell because of the bloom. First thing in the morning, Tasha, and end of the day, Tasha are two different things. My brain has to wake up with me today. There's lots of strawberry starts over here. I'm gonna grab all these. Oh, there's a tuber. That's cool. Most of the dahlias in here are more border dahlias than your big showstoppers. These are nice tubers, though. Good job, dahlias. Speaking of edible landscaping, although I'm not sure you would want to do this because dahlias are so pretty, did you know that dahlias used to be grown because their tubers are edible and can be eaten like potatoes, and people forgot that you could eat the tubers like potatoes. Fun facts. Yeah, so this is an unwends dahlia, which is definitely a shorter border dahlia. All right, I say this section looks pretty good, but I mean, the truth is, I'm sure there's more stuff around here. Trying to go section by section is hard. Oh yeah, because there's this section down here. Oh, there's a lot of anthills over here. Boo. So this is a giant oregano. Italian oregano. I'm gonna dig this one out for sure. Oh, grubs. So unless you're Timon and Pumbaa, these guys being in your dirt and your soil, not a good thing. Ew, it squirted me. Nasty. That was totally my own fault. Gross. Does anybody else get nervous when their teenager mows and you hear a very loud crunching sound? Because I do. Very, very nervous. All right, so I'm going to start by filling up some of these containers with flowers, at least the ones that I think may end up being useful as landscaping out here. So I'm going to put dirt and then you get it. I'm going to take dirt out of this area right here since I know we're digging it up. So this is a really beautiful, soft, pink-topped natural grass. This actually grows wild in the back pasture, and this will be really beautiful as a landscape element out here. I still have more to dig up, but what we're going to do is we're going to fill up some of these planters full of dirt because I want to incorporate some of this landscaping out here. So Alright, you guys, that's going to wrap up this video. I will see you in the next one.